Welcome to Createful Art. Today I'm going to tell you the difference between using pan watercolors and your tube watercolors. At Createful Art, we learn all about art and how to be creative, and we make great decor for our own homes. If that interests you, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can find watercolors in tubes, and you can find watercolors in pans. Okay, so pan watercolors are dry, and you get like a block like this. And how you use this is you have to activate the color with water. So you have to take your brush with water and activate the color and then spread it on your paper. Okay? Now with tubes, you just take the color from the tube, add it to your palette, and it's already wet and ready to go. When you want to use the pan colors, just make sure that you take some time to soften the color, okay? Sometimes people think that these will be more watery and these will have more pigment. It's not the case. It's just that you have to take time to really moisten these up to get them to be like this. I get a rich color by activating it more with water and using less water originally on my brush and adding it to a dry watercolor paper. Now, as you can see, you can do the same thing with your tubed watercolor and get a rich color as well. And see how bright that is? There's no difference between that color and having this straight on there. There's some differences that can make it so that you prefer one over the other. Now, how do you know which one is best for you? So here are some of the characteristics of each, and this will help you decide. As you can see that when you open up these paints, you have like a toothpaste type consistency. And also, if you noticed when I opened it up, guess what it did? Some of it squirted out. So you will have some pressure build up every time you open this up. There will be some that you have to take out. If you don't, what happens is this dries around it, and then it dries your lid onto it, and then it's very hard to get your lids off. Now, another thing about these is sometimes you don't put the lid on all the way, and what will happen is your paint all in here is dry. Like if you leave it for a while, it'll completely dry. And I've had paints, very expensive paints that I paid for, and I thought that they were sealed all the way, and it ended up that they dried out completely. And sometimes you can even find ones that are new paints that you bought a long time ago and you didn't open them up, and they were in a small tube or something, and they will also dry out. I've had that happen where I never even got to use it, and so I cut it open and then I had to use it from the inside. So tube paints contain more of that glycerin binder than the pans, okay? And that's what makes them soft and creamy and easier to mix with water to begin with. You can add some water to it to make it so that it's more liquidy. Okay, and that's how that works. The great thing about having tube watercolors is you can make your own pan colors. So I could squirt out a bunch of colors here with my tubes and let them dry, and it would be the same as having a pan. I just have to activate it with water. So that's one of the pluses, is you can choose your own colors, take it with you, and also have like a travel pack. Have your own box. And I like to use Tupperware containers and that sort of stuff for these. So as you can tell, contaminating the colors is very easy to do with a pan set. That is one of its major downfalls. If I could separate these more, that would be great. With these, I can separate the colors on here as far away from each other as I want to. That way it doesn't contaminate the colors. Now, having pan paints, obviously you can see that it's very easy to take this wherever you want. You also have immediate access to the colors here. Instead of having to get all this out, the process of trying to do art when you don't have a lot of time needs to be really fast and simple. And this is really fast and simple. So one of the things about having it in a pan like this, if you can see, I'm sure you can see how messy this gets, but you can keep it cleaner than I do. But look, like sometimes you have colors that, you know, you've grabbed or you've had up here and it gets into your paint. And so you have to use up your watercolors trying to get it off. And if it gets really, really far down in your creases, you could pull up that color later on, which is a bummer as well. So you have to make sure you keep these really clean. You know, it's very easy for me to use a fat brush and grab both yellows instead of grabbing just the one yellow that I want. Keeping these clean is kind of a difficult task. Another thing about these is these come in predetermined colors, whereas these ones, you can buy them in a set, but you can buy them individually as well and pick the colors that you want. Once you're done getting your set though, you can order these little pieces separately. So say you need this color but you don't need any of the other colors, you can just order this. The great thing about this is that it comes already in a box and it's ready for you to go, whereas this you'd have to create something yourself. There's a little place for water and it comes with a little watercolor brush. You can also get paint brushes that have the water inside, and so it just adds the water while you're painting. Okay, I'm going to clean this up and show you how clean it can be. Now it's nice and clean. Kind of takes a little bit. I have to take all these out to clean it. So if you get watercolor paints that are cheaper than or cheaper brand, what you're going to see is just the pigments are going to be less and the binder is going to be less. And that's what they're skimping on. Okay, so you can still make great artwork with it. Little kids can make great artwork with Crayola watercolors. It's just that these will have more color in them and more binder, and they'll lay way better on your watercolor paper. You'll see that I have recommendations below of which ones to buy, and you'll see that I put on the pan watercolors. I'll list the watercolors that I like in the tubes as well. So now that you know the difference between pans and tube watercolors, you can decide whichever one will be best for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!